Hey, I'm Phoebe Bridgers and friend, and you're watching 101.9 KINK Radio in the live studio.
Keep it going for Phoebe Bridgers, especially you, young man. He was slam dancing during that song. Kid. Sorry, Phoebe. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming back to Portland.
Yeah, dude.
Couple stops this year earlier. The zoo with Connor. And then it's as the crow flies, it's about a 7-iron to the Schnitzer concert hall.
Yeah.
With the war on drugs. She's here for you especially today, just for this room only. Mm-hmm. You should applaud that. You should say thank you. I want to ask you about the new album, Stranger in the Alps, in a minute. But first, I want to ask you, what can you tell me about the band Question Authority?
Oh, God. That was my, 6th grade band. My dad came up with the name. I thought it was really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I just heard a cover in a grocery store, and I remembered, or a song in a grocery store, and remembered that we did it. I think it was like Sting or something. It was pretty rough.
You flashed back to that time in the 6th grade?
Yeah.
It was rough?
Yeah, it was rough.
Was it a heavy band?
I mean, I kind of looked like Neil Young at the time, if you can imagine a 6th grade girl looking like Neil Young. I did. So it looked heavy, but it wasn't at all.
When you go back and you think, and I know this is a question that'll come up when you do interviews with ding-dongs like me, but we want to know about your influences. They're not necessarily an artist, but there was maybe a moment. Maybe there was a teacher, an album, mom and dad's record collection. What sparked it for you, this music-making ride?
Yeah, a little bit of all of that. I think right after Question Authority, I got some drum lessons from this awesome woman who showed me Elliott Smith, and I was like, oh, that's what I do. I don't do other stuff. I don't do anything else. So yeah, probably when I heard that, because everything else had been part of my parents' record collection, or a teacher had showed it to me, and it just felt like someone else's, and I finally felt like I heard something that I got to show people, and it was like my thing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. Early on, you were making music. Well, I say early on, I guess it wasn't that long ago. The guy that kind of took you under his wing was Ryan Adams, and it kind of helped you in your music making. What did you learn from that process, working with a guy like Ryan?
I learned what not to say on Twitter. No, but I had never really been recorded to tape. That was one thing where I was like, oh, you don't just press a button and make it sound good. You have to actually try and sound good from the front to the back of the song. So that was really cool. A lot of really cool gear in that studio. And it was just a really interesting world to delve into. And I felt like now I kind of have a taste for vintage gear now and stuff that I never really knew about. And that's cool.
Are you going to have time to hit Revival Drum Shop while you're in town?
I love Revival.
Okay.
Probably not this time, but
Oh.
I love making an excuse to go, although it's so sad because when I'm not with a drummer, I literally I can't buy anything. I actually have bought a sad, sticks bag or sad little accessory, and maybe I'll give this to a drummer friend, but I love going in there. Actually, one time I was in Portland and with Violent Femmes, and I was there with the guy playing drums with me, and there was this insane, it looked like a stand-up bass, but it was on top of a bucket. It didn't look like a stand-up bass. It looked like a stand-up bass if it was one string attached to a bucket.
Yeah?
It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and he was like, I gotta buy that. And then we went back the next day and he was gonna buy it, and the dude from the Femmes had bought it. Yeah, so I love that place.
That's sneaky.
Yeah, very.
Wow. That is if you haven't frequented that place, or at least follow them, I follow them on Instagram. It's crazy. I just drool every time I'm passed through.
I've been trying to get them to sell me that drum head that's painted with a scene.
Yeah.
That's in there, and they're like, no, that's ours. You can't have it.
That is not for sale.
Yeah.
How do you feel that your music unites? Maybe it unites your fans, your friends. How does your music unite?
I don't know. It unites me with people because it's really personal. So when people come up to me and they have a connection to it, it has to be a personal connection. So that's cool. It's not like, I like that one song. I feel like the people who talk to me about my music are always like, I remember that feeling or whatever it is. So that's cool. It's like weirdly united in solidarity, if that makes sense.
Yeah, an emotion, I think.
Yeah.
Instead of that riff when it kicks in is so awesome.
Yeah, totally.
It's a little
Although
more.
I like that too.
Yeah, no, it's okay too.
Yeah.
It's got a little more to it. This is part of the show where I say thank you so much for coming up and taking time out for us today. Really,
Totally.
really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man.
Congrats on the new record.
Thank you.
Phoebe Bridgers, everybody. Put your hands together.